Imagine gazing up in awe at the night sky on a clear evening only to witness an astonishing sight: two giant luminous rings encircling the entire planet. Spanning over 65,000 kilometers in diameter, these ethereal rings would stretch from eastern to western horizons, bathing the ground below in a ghostly glow. The mere thought of such a phenomenon is enough to stop anyone in their tracks and leave them gazing upwards in wonder. In this video, we will explore in depth how the night skies, climate, evolution of life, and human history could have played out if the Earth developed prominent rings like Saturn. Through examining the potential effects, we gain a deeper understanding of our place in the cosmos and appreciation for the conditions that have allowed life to thrive in our ringless blue world. If Earth was ringed, the night skies would be transformed into a dazzling display unlike anything witnessed today. Saturn's rings span up to 175,000 miles in width and consist of tiny ice and dust particles. Earth's rings would likely be of comparable size, stretching across much of the sky. Made of reflective material, they would glow brightly when illuminated by sunlight after dusk and before dawn. At these times, the rings would appear as two thin arcs on either side of our planet, dominating the celestial sphere. Their illuminations would outshine all but the brightest stars and planets. As Earth revolves around the Sun in its orbit, the Sun's changing position would cause the rings to tilt at varying angles relative to observers on different sides of the globe throughout the year. This variance would make the rings seem to change shape and thickness seasonally. During new moon phases, the unobstructed rings would be spectacular sights, their intricate braided patterns and shadows visible to the naked eye. Ground-based telescopes would reveal intricate self-gravity waves and collisions between ring particles, keeping astronomers occupied for generations exploring this dazzling natural wonder directly overhead. Overall, having such a prominent ring system would transform the night sky into a mesmerizing display unlike anything known on our current ringless Earth. The presence of rings would significantly impact Earth's climate system through their interaction with incoming sunlight. Studies of Saturn's rings have found them to have a very high albedo or reflectivity, bouncing back over 70% of sunlight that hits them. Earth's hypothetical rings would do the same on a much larger scale. This would reduce the amount of solar energy reaching our planet's surface by over 10%, lowering average global temperatures. Computer climate models suggest this ring shading effect would become enough to trigger an ice age state. However, the rings would also act as a blanket, trapping heat in the lower atmosphere through the greenhouse effect. This thermal regulation may help prevent temperatures from becoming too extreme. In addition, the shifting shadows cast by the rings as they rotate around Earth would influence atmospheric circulation patterns and rainfall distribution worldwide. Monsoon cycles, storm tracks, and even ocean currents could evolve along different pathways than present-day conditions. Overall, Earth's climate would be profoundly shaped by its rings' interactions with solar energy input and global heat redistribution in complex and unpredictable ways. If Earth developed rings billions of years ago, the divergent environmental conditions would drive significant changes to the evolution of life. Organisms would need to adapt visual systems and behaviors to low light levels under the ring's glow. Deep green or even blue pigments may evolve in plants to better utilize the dimmer filtered sunlight. Nocturnal and crepuscular species would likely flourish, with some developing ring-guided navigation. Many animal groups could gain low-light vision, polarization detection, and sensitivity to wavelengths reflected off the icy structures. Over immense timescales, the biosphere may diverge dramatically from what actually emerged on our ringless world. Complex life like humans still developing is uncertain, but some form of intelligent species attuned to the ring's patterns may eventually arise. Fossil and DNA evidence could reveal convergent adaptations across widely separated ringed Earth lifeforms. Overall, the evolutionary paths taken would be profoundly different, yet equally fascinating in their ring-driven diversity and innovations. If prominent rings developed recently in human history, their appearance would generate worldwide awe and speculation. Mythologies would incorporate the rings into origin stories and cosmologies to explain their meaning. Shamanic rituals and ceremonies would center on the ring's seasonal motions. As astronomy advanced, their cyclical patterns may be used to develop more accurate calendars, improving agriculture and navigation. However, the bright rings would also hinder detailed observations of celestial bodies with early telescopes. This could delay discoveries like the phases of Venus or the moons of Jupiter. The ring's shadows sweeping across lands and seas may influence some early human migrations and settlement patterns. Cultures in the ring's shadow zones could develop with different characteristics than those permanently illuminated. Overall, the rings would both inspire and challenge early human intellectual and technological development in unexpected ways tied to their dominant presence in the ancestral skies. If Earth suddenly grew rings today, their effects would be immediate and far-reaching. Satellite-based technologies would face severe interference, disrupting communications, weather monitoring, and GPS navigation globally. Space debris in low Earth orbit would proliferate, posing collision hazards for both crewed and uncrewed spacecraft. Aviation safety procedures would require revising for navigating illuminated and shadowed ring zones, especially at night and at dusk and dawn. Ground-based observatories may need to relocate or develop advanced adaptive optics to study celestial objects through the bright ring glare. On the cultural side, the rings would captivate public imagination worldwide as a new natural wonder. Artists, writers, and filmmakers would find rich inspiration in the transformed night skies. Tourism, centered on optimal ring viewing locations, could become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Overall, while presenting immense technical challenges, humanity's ingenuity and adaptability suggests we could rise to overcome such disruptions through new innovations attuned to our newly ringed home world. The regular patterns and motions of Earth's rings would provide a useful navigational marker for early seafaring cultures, similar to how Polynesian voyagers used stars. Mariners could plot routes by timing transits of the rings and timing ring shadows that sweep across oceans. This would aid long-distance voyages between distant lands. As astronomy advanced, precise measurements of the ring's orbits would allow creation of highly accurate calendars and charts, improving navigation safety. Ring features like gaps may be used as fixed points to aid exploration of unknown territories. Ring shadows could even help trans-equatorial paths for migrating animals like birds. Like Saturn's rings, Earth's rings may periodically experience large-scale disruptive storms when the stable orbits of ring particles become destabilized by gravitational interactions. This could send temporary meteor showers or even meteor-sized chunks of ring material raining down to the surface every few centuries in random locations. The impacts would pose localized risks to settlements but also deposit weathered ring samples. Small ring particles constantly falling as dust may influence soil compositions. Ring storms could even trigger unusual lightning-rich storms in upper atmospheres during the disruption. The shadows cast by Earth's rings would track across the planet's surface daily and seasonally, affecting light, temperature, and biological rhythms. Polar regions may experience prolonged ring nights of weeks' duration when the Sun remains below the ring plane during certain orbits. Plant and animal behaviors like hibernation or migration may evolve to make use of ring shadow cues. Cultural traditions develop around tracking the Sun's passage through distinct shadow zones. Precise shadow transit times may even be used to improve calendar accuracy for agricultural planning. The rings would frame breathtaking alpenglow views on the eastern and western horizons during dawn and dusk. Bands of colored lights would play across the rings before and after the Sun emerges. Cultural rituals, artistic works, and spiritual traditions could develop centered around these spectacular daily events unique to a ringed Earth. The rings may take on mystical significance in some belief systems as natural structures dividing night and day. Having a prominent ring system encircling Earth would profoundly reshape the skies overhead, global climate patterns, evolutionary pathways of life, and the course of human history on our planet. The rings would dominate the night, influencing cultures, technologies, and ecosystems in unexpected ways. While posing disruptions, they would also stir human curiosity to understand natural phenomena and develop new perspectives on our place in the cosmos. Through examining potential effects of such a phenomena, we gain insight into the conditions that have allowed life to flourish on Earth as it is today, without the interference of bright orbital structures above. Life finds a way to adapt to its surroundings and environment. And if rings had formed in our world's past or future through the ingenuity of life, humans would continue exploring and discovering the mysteries of our ringed blue home. If you found this hypothetical scenario thought-provoking, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more speculative science content.